Hello, welcome back to the PoddiMouths podcast. I am Peyton Cubic, and this is where my dad and his friend John talk about random stuff in life or the things they found on the internet. I hope you enjoy listening to this episode as much as I did. Here they are now.
You may be surprised, but I'm definitely not surprised.
I know. I have my Google cameras, which are kind of cool in that they are, it's magnetic.
Oh, cool.
And so there's no wire, they're wireless and magnetic. And so I just can replace them outside on the mounts that I have for them, which is kind of cool.
But that is kind of cool. I like that a lot. It's a lot easier than having to climb up and pull out the battery and then charge the battery. And that's really neat.
Yeah. I mean, there are downsides, as in they last, depending upon how much they turn on.
Sure.
But they'll last a week to 2 weeks, I guess, typically.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to get out there and pull them down and charge them and put them back up. But I've got one extra, so I rotate it in.
That's smart.
It seems okay.
I mean, there aren't very many times I can say that about you, but this time I can.
I'm reveling in it.
You should be. You should be. I can see it. You're literally rolling in it for those people who aren't watching.
Let's see. How can I get Nick to say I'm smart? Well, it ain't as easy as you might think.
I just started, speaking of smart things, I bought a box of the smart light bulbs that change color. So I'm putting those throughout the house now.
Awesome.
And that's kind of fun because
I
don't go ahead.
Can you use the brand name?
TP Link, I think is the brand name.
Okay.
I don't remember. I got them on Amazon. I have strip lights that used to be in here. But I know, so my light in the back is actually a TP Link plug, so I can say, "Hey Google, turn off the outdoor lights."
Yep.
So watch the light go off. There we go.
Cool.
So, hey Google,
hold on a second.
Turn the outdoor lights on.
Hey Google, turn on Office.
There you go. Yeah. See, I love that. So the reason, folks, though, I'm sitting in my office and I'm saying the outdoor lights is because this is actually the thing that I'm using. I'm repurposing from our Christmas lights in the winter. So,
and have you noticed that this is funny that we're talking about this because we really hadn't planned to, viewers and listeners. But I have the same thing. Trying to rename them, it's almost impossible to go back in. So our Lanai speaker, which is a nice big honking, thud, bass speaker, used to be in the garage. And so I'll say, turn on the Lanai speaker or play this on the Lanai speaker. Turning on garage speaker. Come on. You recognize I'm saying it.
Yep.
So it's just so stupid.
Yeah, it is.
It'll forever be the garage speaker too.
The garage speaker.
My friend
well, I'm going to save the one light bulb to put in this lamp when I'm ready to take the link thing down to the outdoor lights. So I can just say, turn on the office. But and the really cool thing is, until then. But the really cool thing is, this is just a regular bulb in this lamp. But you know what? I shouldn't say that because, yes, to the bulb, but the new bulb has color, so I can change the colors. So that'll be cool. Mm-hmm. However, this lamp is actually the guest room lamp because I think I said on the podcast, we actually packed up the guest room to be able to use as a storage room for Jen's studio. Oh, so all the furniture has been either put up against the wall or moved out. So I have the lamp and the nightstand sitting in here as an extra light because I needed one up here. So I'll either have to give that back when the guest room comes back around, or I have to find another lamp for the guest room.
It's cool. The colored lights are kind of neat because you can adjust the ambiance and all of that in the rooms. But I think the ones I have now they're hue.
Okay.
What is can't think of the brand name. It's Hue.
I think it's Hue. Or is that GE Hue?
Philips Hue.
Excuse me, I was close. It's the same. It's the same company, but different.
Yeah, they do my toothbrush too, I think.
Right.
So, but that's been kind of cool to have that capacity and run it through your smart home because we have the front lights, the outdoor lights set up that way too. They come on and off dusk and dawn pretty much.
Yeah, I have those too.
Yeah, and when we're gone, we can manage the. Now I'm telling everybody, so you'll know when to break into my house.
Right.
The lights go on and off as if you're actually at the home.
Right.
We're not gone very often, and I have guns, so don't even think
about it. They're run by Google too.
Yeah, they are. Well, that's why I'm always nice to Googs. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, you have to be.
Yes, you do.
So I was with our buddy Matt this past week in Las Vegas for a conference, and we actually had our flights were about an hour apart leaving, so we went to the airport at the same time, and we just walked around the airport
because that's what you do. You're walkers.
Exactly, we are walkers, and we enjoy that very much, and we enjoy exploring too. So it's an airport that I've been to way too many times, but never really explored. Sorry, folks, for those who are watching. I'm trying to get comfortable right now, and my desk is in the way. So, but anyway, we were walking and talking about a lot of stuff, and now I completely lost where I was going. What were we talking? We were talking about the lights. Yeah, we were talking about
walking around Vegas, the airport, and you.
I lost it. It's gone. I'll remember when at the most inopportune moment. Matt's probably listening to this right now and going, we were talking about this. It has everything to do with what you were just talking about.
I can't believe you forgot.
Yeah, I know. I hate it when that happens. It happens a lot.
Well, so let's talk. First of all, where was the conference in Vegas?
In Vegas.
No, where? What hotel? What?
We were off the Strip. And we were at the old Hard Rock, which is now the Virgin.
Oh, got it.
Virgin Hotels, yeah. Okay. Which is fun. I always wanted to be. I have honestly, Richard Branson has always been someone that I don't want to say looked up to, but I've always been fascinated by his management style, his story, all of that stuff. And this is the first time I've had any interaction with any of his businesses, so that was kind of fun. It was.
I have to say, sorry. I have to say, I flew. When I was in Australia, flew on Virgin Australia.
Okay.
Within the country, every place I went, and I was on the move all the time. And it was an excellent airline. I was just so impressed with how they ran things, and just some common sense stuff like dual boarding. They board from the front and the back.
Oh, that's
two
smart.
Separate. I know they've got two separate gates. Allow you to do that.
I never understand. I mean, I do and I don't. Whenever I say something like that, I do understand, but at the same time, sometimes that understanding frustrates me. Why do they always have first class board first? Because then they're just sitting there, they're bored out of their mind. Actually, are you familiar with Samantha Brown? She used to be on the Travel Channel and stuff like that. Yeah. So Samantha Brown, she still has her own thing. She's doing her own thing on YouTube now, which it's very entertaining. It's very Samantha Brown. Anyway, she has kids, small kids, and she was posting on social media different tips and tricks about traveling. And she would say, I don't remember if she said she didn't understand, but it was about how they have adults with kids under a certain age get to board first. They get to pre-board. And she's like, why would you do that? Why would you have a kid who can't sit still anyways, get on the plane first and then sit there for 30 minutes before the airplane even closes the door and takes off?
Fair question.
It's so dumb. I mean, I know why, because you want to be able to get your bags up and you want space so you're not holding up traffic and stuff like that. I understand that, but the idea behind it is stupid. And it's same with first class. All the first class folks get in there, they sit down. Now they've got to sit for 30 minutes while they have all these people bumping them and coming through. And
I don't mind it though, because I want to be on first in first class.
Oh, I do too. I do. Don't get me wrong. I do too. But why wouldn't they board from the rear? Because there's doors in the rear. Why wouldn't they board people from the rear and then board people from the front? And then it seems like it would just be a lot more efficient, and you wouldn't piss people off. I know it's overhead space stuff. I mean,
but it's two jet bridges, which I mean, it's one that splits into two. If you're going to the back of the plane, at least that's the way they did it there. But it just makes perfect sense, and the plane boards so much more quickly. Yeah, because if you're in this row or above, you use the back entrance. If you're, and it just makes good common sense.
Yeah,
I get it's difficult sometimes especially when You have, and you've seen it 1,000 times. You have somebody who is in first class or somebody who's a diamond traveler, depending upon the airline. You know what? They want to get on first because of the luggage space up above, or just because they want the recognition and not standing in the long line waiting in the jet bridge for, other people to board.
Well, and so domestic, I can see that. It's interesting. I'm going to bring up Kara and Nate as an example. They have been flying a lot of first class and a lot of business class lately because they've been vlogging about that. But they're never on time for their flight, so they're never boarding first. So, and I see, that's the other thing I think, that why you're not really standing in line necessarily. If you're first class and everyone boards the plane and then you're brought in and say, okay, first class, it's time for you guys. That would be something completely different. That would still they could make it feel special in that regard. So I don't know. I'm pontificating, I guess, on the things that just frustrate me when I'm getting on an airplane. And that's the other. I'll be the first to admit, I flew Southwest out there and I flew Southwest back. I was in the first 15 of A group. And so, I mean, I got on, I put my stuff in the overhead and I sat down in the front of the plane. I didn't go all the way to the back. And that's the other part is, why don't you just load from the back forward you can't do it on Southwest, but with the airlines that have seat numbers. Why not literally load by seat number?
They used to do that, but then somebody who has status wants to get on early and they'll let them in. And it's, it's that way just in general too. They'll say, well, if you are in, pick a zone, A zone or B zone or whatever, and then they stop, they'll do the A and B and they forget about C, D, E, and F, and people are, oh yeah, you can board too. Come on.
Yeah.
So, they don't do it well, it seems like, across the industry. So it's I think
it also goes back to something we've talked about before. I think it also has to do with the amount of time people spend traveling.
Yeah.
Once again, on a Southwest flight out there, I am splitting these two because on the Southwest flight out there, most of the people on my flight were vacationers.
Okay.
So of course,
Vegas.
there's Vegas, and there's a lot of, time because people don't know what to do. Where's my seat? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff. On the way back, half the plane was the folks from the conference. We're folks from the conference.
Right.
Not dealership folks, but folks from the actual OE. So people that tend to travel quite a bit, and it's a completely different experience. We got on the plane so fast. Everyone got to their seats so fast. Not really an issue with overhead stuff. I mean, it's just amazing. It's night and day when you have people that are traveling, even if it's not for work, but have traveled for work a lot and know the ins and outs of and the tips and tricks on how to do things quickly and efficiently. It's a completely different experience. And I really do think that they should have a difference between this is a business airline exclusively, and this is a vacation airline exclusively. I really think that should exist. And I have a feeling there are businesses out there that might pay not a ton extra, but just a little bit extra for the efficiencies.
It's hard to say, the problem is anytime you put all your eggs in a particular basket, it blows up, because then you get, somebody who, we've traveled everywhere, and it's an elderly couple, for example, and they may have traveled everywhere back in the days,
probably
when they
by
wore suit
steamship
coats and maybe by steamship, exactly. So that makes it a challenge, and we fly often out of Florida. What a shock! And there are older folks on a lot of the flights. And you're in Florida if you have a row of 15 wheelchairs that are going to board first before anybody else. And what do you do? Okay, well, and we're going to start pre-boarding. Anyone that needs a little time, and off they go. It's a parade of wheelchairs.
Yeah. Now that I will say is a good example of a pre-boarding as a good thing. I do think,
as long as they don't try to get off early.
Right. Yes.
That's the other challenge, where they'll want to, so you're in a chair. And then, I want to be the first one off. Well, you're going to hold up everybody because of that. So it seems like they're getting better about managing that.
Yeah, again, there's some instances where it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Older folks in wheelchairs, military folks, yes, let them on the airplane first. Let them get settled. Kids, I can once again see the benefits of doing that. But maybe, and this is what Samantha Brown actually suggested, if you're traveling with a spouse, have your spouse, when they pre-board, go down there and put everything in the airplane and sit and hold the seats and make sure everything's good. But as the other parent holding the child, wear them out until everyone's on the airplane and then go down and get on the airplane because your stuff's already in there and you're already set and all you're doing is getting in there and sitting down.
That sounds like a perfect world scenario, but
right?
It's not. It just doesn't work that way. No, heck no.
But you can get it close. I can see how it could work, unless you're flying Southwest.
So how was your experience on Southwest?
Oh, it's always great. I love the people on South. No, I love the people in the Southwest. I love people. I love the workers. I love the flights are always smooth. I have very rarely ever had a bad flight in a Southwest. There was one time, and that was because of a whole bunch of snowstorms, and we were flying into Midway. That one was a rough landing, but other than that, I mean, it's usually the pilots are really good.
Midway's always a rough landing.
Always a rough landing. It's like landing on a
short runway.
It's like landing on an aircraft carrier. It's the the civilian equivalent to landing on an aircraft carrier.
That's funny. I like it.
But I never have problems with the airplanes or the flights. I've said it time and time again. The only thing I have a problem with is the cattle call. I don't like lining up, a blah, 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 and then picking your own seat. I hate that. I want my own seat.
You were in the first.
I was in the first, but I had to pay for it. I mean,
well, I always do. Southwest when I fly them.
Yeah, I have to because especially when I'm on long trips. I could get away with it if I'm on a short trip because I usually only carry a backpack unless I have to have really nice suits and then I'll carry my garment bag. But when I'm on long trips, I'm obviously carrying a larger bag. So I have to get on first because otherwise I'm not getting overhead space. Yeah. When I checked in before I paid for the upgrade, I was in the C group.
So
I wasn't. Yeah. Nope.
Nah,
nope. Because that's a middle seat and that's, overhead.
At least overhead. At the back of the plane,
right.
If not a middle seat, it's at the back of the plane.
Right. And I just don't want to.
Did you have someone sitting next to you?
Both times. The flights were both full.
Because because you were up in the front anyway. That's
that
typical,
too.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. But the way there, it was a small guy, so it was perfect because I always get the aisle. There was a smaller guy that was sitting in the middle seat, or at least I thought, except when he's sat there and went like this and fell asleep because his arms were out and his legs were out, and I'm like sitting over here on the aisle like this the whole time. So a 4-hour flight like that wasn't fun. But on the way back, there was just it was a very tiny lady that sat next to me. And I mean, even when she was sleeping, she had her neck pillow and she was like this. And I mean, she hardly took up any space.
Much more polite.
Much more polite. And it was very, very uneventful. The Wi-Fi, now this is getting into, I mean, we're already talking about real first world problems, but
yes, we are.
The Wi-Fi on the way to Vegas was spotty at best. So I tried to watch Kevin Costner's new epic Western, whatever that movie is, Horizons.
There you go.
Good movie, by the way. I would highly recommend it. It is slow, but it's meant to be because it's an epic. It's 3 hours. The first of the two is 3 hours long. Okay. And it definitely moves slowly, but it's very interesting and the acting is phenomenal. So I would highly recommend starting that if you haven't already. Horizons.
Okay.
However, it was very spotty, so it would stop playing, so I'd have to wait about 10 minutes and then it would start playing. And so for a 4-hour flight, I was able to just finish a 3-hour movie.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that was they offered that on their movies?
It was on there.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what's wrong with my phone. I always download programs and movies on my phone.
Always.
I couldn't get them to go. So something's wrong with my phone and I just didn't have time to like the night before is when I download them. So I'm not downloading them. I woke up in the morning and it said none of them had downloaded. And I'm like, shit.
You should get an Android.
Nah, it's okay. I'm not that desperate.
Whatever. Yes, right. I don't mind not seeing the movie. That's funny. Well, I have seen. I think I just saw like a one of the trailers for
Mhm.
that, and I don't know. I'm still pissed about Yellowstone, so I'm mad at Kevin Costner.
Well, they are coming out with another season. Did you not see that news?
They were supposed to do it months and months and months and months ago.
No, I know that. So then the second part of the season that we've been waiting on is coming in November.
That I already paid for. Yes, right. Understood.
So they are actually they already announced that they are actually doing another season.
Whatever. I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that.
It's true. It's just like, come on. And yeah, you pay in advance to have access to it. And then, we decided we're going to wait. No, that's not how it works.
What do you mean you paid in advance?
It is how it works. We paid for the rest of the season 5 or whatever it was, that they had not completed.
Okay.
And we paid, and it never came out, or it was never released.
So what service are you using? Are you using Amazon? Is that what you're saying?
Paramount. I don't remember who we had.
Oh, don't you pay monthly?
You had to pay for the season in advance for the second half of the season or whatever. Yeah,
I don't understand why you're doing that. I pay monthly for Paramount Plus.
We don't, and so maybe it was under Amazon or something. I'm not sure.
Okay,
I get so confused by all of it because we have so many different ones that are. It's just ridiculous. The streaming services are stupid.
Yeah, and then Hulu owns them all. It seems like Hulu or Disney. So it doesn't matter which app Disney owns Hulu. So it gets very confusing.
And we stay away from some of those just because you could pay, again, just jacking it up to $150 a month just for your streaming services,
Oh yeah.
But, the one we like, we are prime customers anyway for Amazon, like everybody.
Right.
So that's one that we use quite often. But as far as the others go, Discovery, HGTV, Discovery actually is our favorite.
Yeah.
That we watch.
I tend to watch that one quite a bit.
Anything.
I thought my wife would probably watch that a lot more than she does, because she used to call it H&G TV. And it's HGTV, and it's H&G TV. H&G. Because it's home and garden.
That's right.
But anyway, I thought she would watch that more than she does. But other than that, Peyton and I pretty much almost exclusively watch YouTube. I didn't
YouTube
get rid
TV.
of. Yeah. No, I don't. We don't even pay for
YouTube.
It. Just YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't pay for YouTube TV. But we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Disney, but I pay the lowest amount on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have commercials, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But we don't watch it enough to really care anymore.
I just don't like the commercials, but I'm with you. I get it if you don't watch that much.
I don't want to pay for shows individually, like on Amazon. So I keep things like we have Netflix, really honestly, because we're waiting for the next Stranger Things.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep HBO because I have one show that I watch on HBO.
I know, this is what it does to you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all the other ones are crap. You go look at them and go, that's terrible.
Yeah. We keep Disney because of all the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just nice. And the TV shows, the Marvel TV shows. And Hulu is the same way. I think there's only 1 or 2 shows on Hulu that no, I'm sorry. I was going to get rid of Hulu, but I can't because it's tied to my Disney account now. So you can't just have one or the other. You have to have
awesome.
Now you're only paying one price. I will say that. So you're paying for both, but I still have Hulu technically. What's some of the other ones? I mean, there are a bunch of others.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Confused between Paramount and
I've got Paramount Plus. I do pay for Paramount Plus, but that one's probably the cheapest out of all of them. It's like $9 a month or something.
Well, and that's about what Discovery is, which is incredible.
Yeah. And even on Discovery, really the only things I watch are the paranormal stuff because it's Halloween. Hello.
Right.
And Chip and Joanna.
Yeah.
The whatever that one's called. Those I love those shows. Like the farmer in California that bakes. I love her. And
she's good too. I do enjoy her, and kind of surprisingly, but she has just such a calming demeanor.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I like her. Yeah, but there are many other shows on there too that I like as well. Yeah. But yeah, it varies from one to the next.
Right. Yeah, and the one in San Ysidro, it's one of those things. If it weren't California.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty much it. If it weren't California, that would be the dream farm. Wasn't California wasn't so freaking expensive. What they have, that homestead and the rolling hills, and oh my god, that is dream farm right there.
It's pretty nice, but it's California.
Yeah, and but it's been in her family for what 120 some years,
something like that. Yeah, which is cool.
It's crazy.
It is, but it how would you like to have that sort of a situation and then have to put up with the taxes and the other crap that goes along with being in California. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, you're literally just working to pay taxes at that point.
In many cases. And then there's so many regulations too, having to do with watering and mainly because of just management issues. Okay. We don't have to go down that road, but that's a big part of it. Their fires and their water management and oh my goodness. It's just,
it's nuts. So I know we don't ever really get political, and I wouldn't even say this one's political, but I've been talking about it. I had to show Peyton and Jen last night. Did you see I call it a cold open. I don't think it was actually a cold open, but the cold open for Saturday Night Live, where they redid the Family Feud, and it was between the Democrats and the Republicans. So it had Trump and Kamala.
Funny.
Oh, if you get a chance, look that up on YouTube. It was freaking hilarious. The best part was the guy playing Steve Harvey looked at it was introducing Kamala, and she was talking about something, and it was I can't remember her name. She's got her own show on Apple TV now. I think it's anyway. So she's doing great Kamala, and she's like, and I've the first candidate to hit $1 billion in campaign funds. And it goes over to Steve Harvey, and he's like, wow, that's incredible. Why aren't you winning by a landslide? And then she does the laugh, the cackle, the whole thing. I know, I cry into my pillow every night about that.
What is her name?
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Darn it, do it, because we need to give her props.
Yeah,
because I watched another one. I'm not sure if it was a cold open or not, but I saw it on YouTube, and it was she was in it, and Jim Gaffigan was playing Tim Walz.
Yes, that was the one. Yeah, he was there too, good. And he did that really, really well.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Maya Rudolph.
Thank you, Maya Rudolph. Yes,
yeah,
and she does an excellent impression.
Oh, she really does. And the guy playing Trump was like spot on too.
Was he? Yeah.
If he just had a few more pounds on him, he'd look just like him. It was really funny.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yes, it's you know what? And again, if you can't laugh at that stuff, the Smith dinner that Trump and Gaffigan and several others spoke at, the comedy type thing that Kamala did not make. Apparently, she got some bad advice. But whatever it's tough to, Trump off the cuff is okay. It's tough to watch him trying to deliver punchlines. Yeah. But he had there were some good jokes that were pretty decent as long as you can suffer the delivery a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, off the cuff, you never know what's going to come out, which makes it funny. But but Gaffigan was great in that too. He did like half an hour.
Really?
Yes. And wow. I think Trump was pretty close to that too. But yeah, it was worthy.
You're absolutely right. If you can make fun of that stuff, that's and the best part of that, I think, John, and this is what it goes back to, I think what a lot of, at least my friends are saying, and a lot of people I've talked to are saying, is we just got to get back to what it was before. It needs to be, hey, look.
Nice. Good thumbs up.
It needs to be respectful. It needs to be easily debatable. Things need to be debated. It can't just be personal attacks and things like that. But the comedians also need to go back to making fun of both sides evenly. And that's what they were doing. And that was the best part of it. Just making fun of one side consistently and not even attacking the other side. That's just, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because let's be fair, everyone on that stage is probably left leaning. And they made fun of both sides equally. And I enjoyed it. So anyway, I'm off my high horse.
Well, no, but that's
and John is frozen.
Right.
Oh, there
not. You are. You were earlier and I ignored it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yes, it's the whole thing about it is it's just gotten so ugly, stem to stern, and I'm hoping somehow we can come to some agreement that it needs to. There's a lot of work to be done, and we are absolutely in dire straits financially as a country. Excuse me, but I'm thinking about
and that too, because
well, both. But I'm thinking about somebody like Elon. How awesome it would be to have a Department of Governmental Efficiency. How awesome would that be? He cut expenses by 80% at X when he took over, and nobody notices any difference.
Yeah, no, it would be.
Do that with the government too.
Well, he probably could. The problem would be how many people would stay working there, because he is a taskmaster. I mean, obviously, the people that are working for him are the best of the best. They have to be, but even some of the best can't stand up to his rigor.
Sure.
And that would be the most interesting part of it, I think, personally. But I agree with you. I think that would be very, very interesting.
There's a lot that needs to happen, and that's part of it in improving efficiency. I mean, we haven't had a balanced budget since Bill Clinton was president. And
did we even then?
Yeah, we did. Well, they agreed to it. I'm not sure they ever kept it.
Right.
But that was the budget. But who knows how that all goes down. But the real problem is other stuff like the food, and that's where RFK Jr. helps. And that guy knows that stuff, and he's on Team Trump for that. So I'm excited that at the potential of taking back our government a little bit, because man, it's not good right now.
Yeah. I like the way you said that, taking our government back.
Yeah.
I never even with all of the conversations I've had with other people and with you, I've never even thought about it that way.
Yeah.
It's not our government right now. And that's sad.
No, it's not even close to our government.
No.
And I think the biggest thing, if there's one thing that's the biggest problem, is there are no consequences for bad actors.
Yeah.
None.
I agree.
And so as soon as they start charging people, other than, putting one of Trump's buddies in prison or whatever, Steve Bannon, that honestly, there are so many people that deserve it way more than he does.
Yeah.
But there are no consequences for people that make,
on both sides, both sides, folks.
Yes, and it is that. But you look at who's in charge now, and there should have been some consequences.
Speaking of Dana Carvey doing a Biden, spot on.
Oh, is he good?
Oh God! Just look up Dana Carvey doing Biden, Joe Biden. Oh my God, it was so funny.
Awesome.
So funny.
Talented guy.
He's a very talented guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Cool.
Oh my goodness.
So you ever remember about Vegas?
Nope, not one thing.
Come on.
I guess it's true. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
At the airport.
At the airport. It's there. Yeah. I did see though. This was a lot of fun. Matt and I were out walking. Go figure, during the week, and we're just walking down the street, and the Virgin Hotel, is right next to the airport. And what flies overhead is one of the Area 51 transports.
Really?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I have to admit, that was pretty cool.
That's fun. What is that? Is it a chopper?
It's a private airline that flies workers from Las Vegas back and forth to Area 51.
No kidding.
It's a white plane. I think it's a white plane with a red strip. But if you ever watch any of the conspiracy theory stuff or anything, and they always show those planes sitting at the airport at Harry Reid. And so it was, I mean, it's one of those, it doesn't have tail numbers. You don't see any tail numbers.
Interesting.
Completely blacked out. And I think it's an Air Force airplane, but it's very nondescript. But it's so nondescript that it's recognizable by everybody because everyone knows what it is. It's one of those.
Funny.
It's a not well kept secret.
Yeah.
But it's still there, and it was really cool to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I hate Vegas. I've been there so many times. I don't gamble. I actually didn't drink at all during the whole week, which that's the first time I'm going to Vegas that I haven't even had just one cocktail. But, I could stand 1 or 2 days out there. Okay. But a whole week that's always a bit much. And it's
totally agree.
We do this every couple of years for the same conference. And it's very taxing. I mean, you can see I'm still exhausted, and I got home at like 7:30 last night. And it's Saturday morning, by the way, folks, here in the world. But
in the world.
In the world. It's well, not the whole world. So I think now in Australia, it might be. No, I think it's still Saturday. It's just very late on Saturday.
World. The world of
PoddiMouths world.
Yes.
I could be wrong. TJ, I'm sure, will send me a message saying, no, it was definitely Sunday. Anyway.
I've forgotten. It's been so long since I've been there. I don't even remember what the time change. It's 17 hours or so. I don't know.
I don't remember. Yeah, something like that. So, we were going to talk. We did have a plan, folks. We were going to talk about the hurricane and what happened. Sure. You said that even though you left, you and Lisa bugged out, that nothing happened to the house. You never even lost power.
We bugged out 8 miles away, so we didn't go far.
Right,
but a little further away from the water because they were telling us that you could get storm surge, and we're half an hour from the coast, but there are rivers close to us that are tributaries that empty into that. So we didn't know what to believe. So that was
better to be safe than sorry.
A little ways away. That's what we were thinking, and happily no water in the house. So
good.
But
did it come up though?
We had just from rain. And so there was our road in front of the house had probably 4 inches of water, 6 inches of water on it.
Okay.
And we're up 4 feet from that, or 3 feet from that, probably in elevation. And so that was fine. It was no big deal. But we didn't know if storm surge comes. Oh, it's a 12-foot storm surge. Well, all right. Now that puts you in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
If it in fact comes up this far, we don't know. It's a new house, since we've ever had storm surge, so we'll see. One day we'll find out.
But you never had lost power, never lost internet. That was what I got. The text message I got back from John. Never lost power, never lost internet. I'm like, those are priorities, definitely.
Elon and I were high-fiving. But Starlink stayed. And it did. And I did shut off the power when we left the house. We were just gone overnight one night.
Okay.
And when we got home the next morning, I turned the power back on and everything fired up. And it was, wow, couldn't believe it. So
that's awesome. All good.
All
very good.
But so many other people lost power. For days.
Right.
You're 4 miles away from us. And
isn't that amazing?
It's the luck of the draw. And it's because I had a generator, I'm sure, that I didn't need to use again.
Right. Well, if you didn't have the generator.
Correct. I still wouldn't have power.
Right. Exactly. And so many others. I mean, this storm season has been pretty epic, even though we still haven't had that many storms per se, as many as they were expecting.
Right.
But they have been a lot of damage. Let's just put it that way. And then
I just feel for the people.
I do too.
In the Carolinas and Georgia and Virginia. Oh my goodness. It's just, we're not expecting that. We knew it was coming in, and they probably did too, but nothing like that's ever happened up there.
Well, and that's exactly it. And unfortunately, a lot of my meetings this month were supposed to be in that general area.
Oh, okay.
Or that area adjacent. So I went from having a full month of meetings to going to Vegas, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, it's honestly, excuse me, I've been telling my coworkers it's been a wonderful thing because I've had so much other not prioritized, not work that hasn't been prioritized, but hey, this would be nice if we got it done. I got a lot of that done in the last couple of weeks. So that is nice. There's always benefits to things, and I'm always looking for the silver lining.
Good for
and
you.
that just happened to be the silver lining to this one, but not for the folks that are impacted, unfortunately.
Gosh, no, they got it good, but making a comeback.
They are.
From what I understand, that we have lots of friends.
That's in that why area we are Americans, not Americans.
That's correct, my friend. Well played.
Thank you. Well, I actually heard it. I heard a joke. It was a different way. It was just because you're an American doesn't mean you should.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. I did think that was pretty good too.
That's not bad.
Just because you're an American doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. There are some people that need to hear that.
Yeah. Yep. Really.
Oh man. Well, on that note. That's what you always say.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know if we were there yet.
We probably are.
We could be. We might be. We should be. Well,
not as long as you can't remember the Vegas story.
I know that would have made up at least another 5 minutes of this podcast.
That's fine. Some people are going, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
He didn't remember.
Oh, every single one of them are, I'm sure.
I'm sure too.
Well, you, my friend, do you have any big plans for the rest of the weekend or for next week?
Not too much. I've got a couple of projects I'm working on, and we did take down our vinyl fence in preparation for the hurricane.
Okay.
And I had to redo one of the posts, so we've done that.
Okay.
And now we're putting the fence back together today. So
nice. That'll be fun. Yeah. Is it hot? Is it hot down there?
No, it's actually very nice.
Okay.
Nice breeze. It'll get to about 80 today. And so
that's not bad. That's
this
a good day to do it.
We're looking for, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you enjoy. Say hi to Lisa for me.
I shall. And you to your lovely ladies.
I will. Peyton said that she missed having you on the podcast, but
she did a great job.
She enjoyed taking your spot for a day.
She did a great job. I'm sure she couldn't handle the pay cut.
No, it was. She's like, wow, you guys work for pennies. When I'm streaming, when I'm doing my live streams, I'm making like at least 10 times more than you guys are. I'm like, yeah, $10 a pop. That's pretty good, honey.
She deserves it. She deserves it.
All right, Johnny boy. On that note,
brother.
You know what we haven't said in a while?
What?
Folks, if you want to get merch, head up to PoddiMouths.com. If you want to get caught up on all of the episodes previous, head up to PoddiMouths.com. That's just a good starting point for you, but you can't find it anywhere you find your podcasts. If you're listening on Spotify if you're listening on Spotify, swipe up and leave a comment. If you're listening and or watching on YouTube, smash that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications. I don't know what any of that means. I do, but
nicely
I don't.
done.
Thank you.
Well played.
I watch so much YouTube. I pretty much know that line by heart now.
Yes.
I think it's probably part of the algorithm at this point.
It probably is.
All right, John, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.